Hi everybody, this is Mike underneath that hat and sunglasses, and we're trying to make a few videos to just, I don't know, maybe entertain you a little bit or help you get to know the staff better during this COVID time when we can't be together in person as often, or certainly at all on Sundays yet. But I'm going to tell you today a little bit about part of my life that maybe you've heard about here and there, but probably don't see very often. A lot of you know that I try to exercise a reasonable amount, really more in the past before some back pain set me back, although that's in good shape right now, so hopefully I'm still building right now. But I really love to go out and walk. Oh, I'm dragging behind here because Kona is with me, and she doesn't exactly heal perfectly during these walks, so I'm afraid I have to tug her a little bit occasionally. So I'm very lucky and very happy that about just maybe a 5-minute walk away from my house, there is a beautiful wooded area. I don't remember what the Cook County Forest Preserve calls it, but I call it the Salt Creek Woods. And there's some really beautiful places to walk here in the woods. And I did quite a bit of walking during my sabbatical, especially. Maybe put in about maybe roughly 404 miles during my sabbatical of walking. And, you know, I try to get out for a few miles almost every day, and it's really delightful. One of the things that I really like doing is looking at the wildflowers. There are all sorts of wildflowers out in this woods. There are these guys that I don't know the name of, but I call those things that look like thistles, although Janine tells me they're not really thistles. Janine is often with me on these walks, but not today. And this field here that I'm walking through has a lot of wildflowers. Queen Anne's lace. I think I do know the name of that one. That's a good one. There's lots of that around. There are those white ones that look like daisies but are not really daisies. There are, you can't really get too close right now, but hopefully you can see the black-eyed Susans there in the background. And I really enjoy wildflowers because they're just such beautiful creatures, and yet nobody does anything to make them come into be. They are literally just a gift from God to look beautiful, to be enjoyed, to support nature, to feed the bees, and they're just a beautiful thing. I'm looking for the oh, there's one right there, one of my favorites, of course. Hopefully you could see that down there, the morning glories. Oh, this field, I should tell you a little bit about this field. Do you ever have one of those moments where it just seems like everything in the universe just is aligned and seems perfect? Everything is at peace and harmony, that whatever cares you were worrying about 10 minutes ago have just sort of like melted into the universe, and it seems like everything's going to be okay. You certainly can think of that as the presence of God. But this field's one of, it doesn't happen to me very often, I gotta tell you, but this field, as a matter of fact, right there, about 10 meters back, is one of the places where I was out for a walk one time, and that moment just came. The universe seemed like just a beautiful place at peace and calm. The presence of God sort of fell over the entire spot where I was, and it was really just a beautiful, beautiful moment of peace. I get that once in a while I'm swimming. It doesn't have to be outdoors in the pool, in the fields, but I get that feeling sometimes while I'm swimming. And I'd be interested to hear sometime where you've had that feeling, and how you interpret those moments when literally, like the whole universe just seems like everything's gonna be okay and it's all just fine. It's a beautiful moment. So I'm gonna move on and come back to a couple other things a little bit later on. But that's my introduction, and I'll be back in a minute. So this might be a little more lower quality video, lower than even before, which I'm sure wasn't great. But I do try to run more these days. I've been increasing again after my back trouble and after Janine's shoulder surgery, which was, what, 4 months ago now. But in addition to setting her back, sort of changed my routine. Certainly made me not able to run quite as much. But I really love running out here. It's a beautiful place for it. The soft ground here on the trails is much easier impact for my knees and my back, so it avoids the hip pain that I've had in the past. And running is a real beautiful thing in my regard, in my opinion. Over on the other side, I'm not getting too winded, but my arm is getting pretty tired, so I'll be back in a minute. So while I'm out running, one of the beautiful things about this woods is not just all of the trees and the grass and the wildflowers, but quite a few animals out here as well. I regularly see deer just about on every run, at least if it's something other than the middle of the day. I see deer out here, and regularly see foxes and coyotes, lots of bunnies that drive Kona crazy, lots of bird calls off in the distance. I pretty much only know the cardinals and robins, but there are lots of other ones as well. The hawks soar above and squawk or squeal or call out, whatever you call a hawk's call, up above. It's really a beautiful time, and I'm thankful that these creatures are still able to live, even though it's in the midst of this urban area or suburban area. These animals are still able to live and enjoy a little bit of the natural habitat that they were meant for. This whole woods, I wanted to say, I don't know anything about the history of this, like why this land was donated or why it's never been used for development. But this is a Cook County Forest Preserve property, and I got to worry about the mosquitoes. I always put on bug spray before I come out, but it doesn't seem to completely get rid of them. Cook County Forest Preserve, forest preserves, they're just beautiful, beautiful things. What a great idea. Whoever had this idea of saving natural space in the middle of urban environments, that person deserves, I don't know, you don't get to deserve to go to heaven for anything, but that person deserves to go straight to heaven, because these are beautiful, beautiful things. And it's I particularly think of it as a great example of kind of proper cooperation between the community, the government, and the God who created it all. The Cook County Forest Preserve can't make this property. They can't grow these trees. They can't, they can't manage the animals that are here completely. That all comes as a gift from God. But we as humans have decided to set aside a part of it and keep it like this. And so the Cook County Forest Preserve can keep development from coming onto it. They can keep the paths cleared so I can run through them a little more easily. And they can leave it here for people to enjoy, for people to be healthy, and both mentally and physically, and just preserve the beautiful creation that is in the midst of us. I'm standing here, and I'll take this moment to tell you one of my favorite parts of this whole thing that I haven't mentioned yet. I'm standing here in the midst of all of these trees, and I'm just going to point this up. That's, I don't know, maybe if you can tell the difference between that one tree that's kind of in the center of the picture here, you'll see that it's a giant oak tree, probably oh no, it's not an oak, I guess it's an elm, beautiful elm tree. And it just reminds me, one of the things I really appreciate out here in the woods is just the beauty of trees. Trees are just, I think, one of the most wondrous things, because they are so strong, and yet they have to adapt to their environment. They have to blow in the wind and be willing to be able to withstand long droughts and terrible rains and floods. And they just stand there and be beautiful, which I think is a wonderful way to be. Sometimes I wonder, you know, why we can't just accept a tree for the beauty that it holds. You know, that tree is good enough, just like it is, to bring glory to God, and that's a wonderful thing. So trees are part of the thing that I enjoy most out here in the woods. All right, back in a minute. I'm gonna try to look forward here for a minute. You can get a sense of the trail that I'm out actually running on. I've watched a lot of running videos in my days. People often make videos about their amazing journeys where they run, you know, 500 miles in 3 days or something. I never do that, but I do therefore know that just watching the trail as somebody runs along, I know from those videos, is not the most fascinating thing in the world, so I won't give you too much of this, but I did want to give you a feel of just what the running part of it is like. So I'll leave this on for another minute and be quiet. Amen. Here's a little better snippet of Kona out on my run. I'd love to be able to let my beautiful little Vizsla off her leash out here in the woods, but once in a while a bike comes by, and I have also been a bike rider in the past, and I know when I see a dog off a leash, that is a dangerous moment for a bicycle. So I don't like Kona off her leash, and I don't want her to run off into these woods and go into the poison ivy. So she gets to stay on her leash, but she's used to it and loves it. She'd much rather be doing this than sitting around at home. And after she does this, she loves sitting around at home. So it's good in a lot of different ways. But hey, Kona, say hi to people. Hey there. Kona, of course, as some of you know, had a heart issue when she was a little puppy, and as far as we know, that has resolved. She's never shown any more signs of it. So I'm very grateful to be able to take her out on these walk runs with me, because she's good company, and it's fun to have her along. So bye bye, Kona.